Fantastic, we're recording. So, welcome to this video, this recording. My name is Kate Cherry and I'm an independent consultant with Arbonne International. We focus on healthy living as a means to improve your mind, your body and skin. And throughout the pandemic, I've been doing interviews with fabulous professionals such as Dr. Nikki Ramskill, who joins me here today, the female money doctor. Hello.
Hello.
And we've very much been focusing during the pandemic on things like mental well-being, physical well-being, the gut, healthy living, looking after yourself during this really challenging time. And then when I met Nikki last month, I thought, that's a whole other aspect we haven't talked about, because Nikki is a money coach. And what that means is she helps people. Well, she's going to tell us what that means, actually. But I wanted to jump on with her to talk a bit more about another aspect of well-being. So what she does today, how she helps people, women in particular, what the other job that she does, and how some of those skills allow her to put her in a unique position, really, to provide something quite special for her customers. So without further ado, I'm just going to jump in briefly, Nikki, before we get to some tips that you can give people. And I know you've got a personality quiz that you want to offer people at the end, a money personality quiz. Tell us a bit about what you do and how you came to do that.
Okay, so thank you for having me. It's really exciting, actually, to chat with you about this, and I'm so passionate about it. I want as many people as possible to be on board with the idea that money is part and parcel of your health. And the reason why I call myself the female money doctor is because I am a medical doctor, so I'm still practicing as a medical doctor in Milton Keynes as a GP, but one of the things that I realized about myself about 5 years ago was that I was terrible at managing money. And people think that as a GP, you've got it all together, you've got the house, the car, whatever, and you should be a certain way about money. But money problems affects lots of different people. It doesn't matter what job you do. It doesn't matter whether you've got, a respected profession like being a doctor or not. Money problems will find you if you are that way inclined. And that's why I've got the money personality quiz as well, because that helps to break down why somebody might be good with money or not good with money, or why they might be doing certain things with it or over others. So for me personally, it all started when I realized how much debt I was in. And I had a bit of time out of my career. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was feeling very burnt out, stressed with everything that was going on. And then I got hit with a £60,000 debt that I was in, and it wasn't just one debt, it was multiple debts. I'd lost complete control. I didn't know how much money was, what was going on, basically. So once I'd actually sat down with it, I thought, okay, this needs to change. I'm 30 years old now, come on, I've got to sort my life out. So I then set on this kind of rampage, if you like, to find out how to manage my own money. So I read books, listened to podcasts, attended courses. I would listen to anybody that had anything to say about how to manage money. And in the end, you kind of get into a groove of what works for you and what doesn't work for you and what's right. And I thought, okay, this is really important. This actually has really impacted my mental health. And it probably impacts my colleagues and my patients as well. And lo and behold, when I started asking the question, yes, it did. Money is fundamental to so many things that's going on in people's lives. People stay in relationships longer than they should do, because they haven't got the money to be able to leave, or they don't take the time off out of work that they need to because they're burnt out and stressed, or go and pay for a psychologist to sit with them and do some CBT because they haven't got the money there sat ready to do it, because we rely on the NHS, and the NHS is fabulous, but it has limitations. So I think money is very intimately linked to health, and I just found it I felt it was my responsibility to actually teach other people what I was doing. And the more voices there are out there with different ways of teaching things, different analogies, different methods, I think is the right thing, because it means then that someone has somebody they can go to listen to about these things. So that's kind of where it started, really. It started off as the Female Money Doctor blog, and then it grew from there. And now it's become a bigger following. I've got a membership, I've got a planner. There's all sorts of things that I now do to help people with their money. So yeah, it's really exciting.
I love that. And you're still a GP, a GP as well as what you do.
Yeah. So the plan is not to be full-time as a GP. I'm not currently a full-time GP, but I wanted to have like a portfolio career, so a bit of a flexibility. So still do the GP work, because when I'm not stressed about it, it's actually a really great job to do. But when you are forced into working a set number of hours, or you have to because your money situation is so terrible that you have to do that,
Yeah.
that's the point where it starts to become joyless, because then you're working for bills. It's no fun that way. So for me, it's about having the creativity in my business life and then being a better doctor for that. So
And I can totally relate, because we were talking offline, weren't we? You can get to a particular level, have a particular income, and kudos and recognition, everything that comes with it. And in your case, wow, GP, amazing. But actually, what's going on underneath can be, yeah, like you say, you've got the house, you've got the car, you've got the income, but at the same time, you're working all the hours, and you don't have any time at all to think about anything else. So if there is a way to show people that they can do things differently and earn their way out of that and do something different. So, because that I teach and train people in what I do, and very often it's a question of, actually, the people who do best at what I do are people who are already busy, because they have such a drive. You've got money freedom and time freedom. They've already got money. What they don't have is the time to have the quality of life. And actually, you kind of, my illustration is, I got to the top of the hill and realized, oh, actually, it's not that nice up here.
mm-hmm.
Quick, give me more time back, and I want to find a different way. So it must be so fulfilling to be able to help people with that when they think they're stuck, because I guess in a way you may have had that situation yourself.
Absolutely. And it's the people that get the most satisfaction and joy with are the ones who really think they can't manage their own money, and they give it away to their partner to sort out, which is what I did as well, or they give it to a financial advisor, which is not the wrong thing to do. I mean, having a financial advisor in your life is actually a really good thing to do. They can advise you on what to do with your pension, tax, all that kind of stuff, which is really clever. But sometimes you just need to take responsibility for the day to day. And while we might be good as women as having a budget to manage the household with, it's thinking outside the box. It's I can start investing and having things in a separate pocket so that I don't have to just rely on my pension from work. Or even if you want your own business, how do I set my own pension up so I don't have to worry about the fact that I won't get a workplace pension anymore? Because you can do that, and you should do that. If you've got your own business, please go and get a pension. It's really important. But it's just these things. It's just, how else can you do something so that your life you don't feel like all you're doing is working all the time? You can do it. You can explore other options.
And I think along the way, it's being an example for the next generation, isn't it? Being an example for children. I know we talked about helping women not only empowers them, but empowers as a good example for their children and how they consider money. And so I love it. And so it's a difficult time of year right now, because people have come through, especially look in the circles you and I network in. You've got businesses that either have had no business all year, people who, okay, there might not have been a particular change to their income, but boy, have they done some extra hours for nothing. So, for example, accountants have been so busy keeping up to speed with everything. And then you've got people who don't have their own business who've suffered. How important is it that they try to go through this festive season thinking positively about what they can do? What would you advise someone who is worrying? What's your main piece of advice?
I think, I mean, it's so hard when we're all going through the storm, aren't we? But we're not in the same boat. I've seen that quote come up so many times on Facebook.
I love that quote.
It's so true though, isn't it? We're going through the storm together, but we're not all equal. So the first thing I would say is, worry is because you either don't have all the facts, or you're spending all your time in the future or in the past. You're not present with what's going on right now. So doing a bit of a brain dump and getting all those worries out and actually thinking, how many of these are things I can actually do something about? Okay, you might not have a huge amount of money coming in right now, but what can you do to manage the money that you've got? So it's about having a budget in place if you haven't got a budget in place. It's about having some savings for emergencies. You may well have spent all your emergency fund money because you might have had no money coming in. Okay, so now how are we going to build that back up again? Is it a case of making some hard decisions about some things that you have in your life that perhaps you don't need at the moment, subscriptions and things. I mean, I've had ladies in my group that have found £900 a year worth of savings purely through looking at their bills and rearranging things, cutting things out, downgrading, deleting, or speaking to their provider and putting themselves on a cheaper tariff. There's a lot of money to be saved if you just sat down with it for a little bit. And that actually, I think, can get rid of some of that fear. Just getting the numbers all laid out in front of you. It's shining a light on it, because we're often fearful of the shadows, aren't we? So actually, if we have this light shone on our money, we can then start doing something about it. And then the next bit is, where are the gaps? Is it the emergency fund? Is it my insurances? What has this experience taught me about my money situation at this point? I think I've been quite fortunate, is probably not the right word. I've had the benefit of other people's mistakes in my GP career and my doctor's hospital career to learn from them. So for example, you know, seeing the 35-year-old woman who ended up with awful advanced stage bowel cancer and then going into cardiac arrest, and then somebody bringing her back, but her brain was damaged, and then didn't have a will in place to sort out her kids that she still had at that point. And it was just a big financial mess for the whole family, as well as the fact she was on a ventilator, and then she had to have carers in place. And so I'm painting an awful picture, but that really taught me the benefit of having a will and having power of attorney. And so even at the age of 35, you know, you just think that feels really young, but it's not. So it's what can this experience teach you? It's not you bashing yourself around the head by saying, I didn't have a budget, I didn't have savings, I've got myself into debt. No, what are you going to do to get out of those things? What are you going to do to fix those things? That's what I want people to take from this. It's not about self-blame, it's about self-care.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. And I mean, there must be so many similarities, not similarities, but you must have so much experience from your career as a doctor, medical doctor, where you've seen the impact of mental well-being for financial reasons on actual physical health.
Yes, absolutely. And then vice versa as well. So mental health and physical health can then lead to financial problems if we haven't got things in place to help support us. Sometimes things happen and there's nothing you can do about it. If you have a disabled child, there was nothing you could have done about that. That was just, unfortunately, the hand that you were dealt. But there are things you can do to make sure that you're comfortable financially, or at least you get everything you need that you're entitled to, by asking the right questions, finding people to help you. And they're the people that I want them to go off and help other people. So if they can be empowered, it's like, right, well, what can I fix in society? What can I fix in my community? So there's one lady, for example, in my community who is going around handing out food parcels to people because she's now sorted herself out financially. So it's given her some breathing space to say, right, okay, who do I need to go and speak to now? Who can I help? What can I do? What can I offer? And that's the power it has. If women are then financially stable, it's like, wow, who else can I help? Who can I donate to charity for? I mean, I would love to give more to charity. So as I'm bringing more money in, I'm working out, right, what can I do? How can I actually now start impacting on other things in a positive way? So yeah, it's the ripple effect.
I love that. And we talk about that very much in Arbonne as well, we're in the game of helping people. So it's not just about helping yourself. You're then, like you say, empowered to pass that on and help other people, which I think is incredible. Just to finish off call to actions, you have a money personality quiz. Tell us about that.
So as I kind of mentioned, there's 8 different personality types when it comes to money, and it was created by a woman called Kendall Summerhawk, and she's based in America, and I absolutely love her work. And as soon as I found out about it, it was like, right, I'm becoming a coach in that. So I've become a certified money archetypes coach. And the 8 personality types are not good, they're not bad. They're just personality types, and we're a mixture of all of them, but 3 of them have a particular impact at any one point in our lives, and they can shift and change. And as you do more personal development and realize you might have taken on somebody else's personality type, they kind of change and shed. But you often have a couple that are like your core foundation, So if you understand that, you can then have this dialogue in your head and say, right, well, that's my accumulator, for example, telling me to be good with money and to do this, this, and this. But oh no, this is my romantic that's telling me to spend because I deserve it, and I need these things, and I need this in my life, and it's all amazing. And then you can start to say, right, well, what's going to serve me more right now? Is it going to be my accumulator because I need to save? Yes, but I'm still going to give my romantic something. So here we go. Have a little bit of money, romantic. You can do what you want with that money, accumulator is going to look after the rest of it. Thank you very much. So it's, for me, personality is like the fundamental of everything. Like to get started with money, it's like, right, who are you as a person? Okay, let's work with that. And now we can springboard from that. You don't have to be a spreadsheet person to be good with money. You can, if you find out you're somebody that doesn't like spreadsheets very much and actually would prefer to have a notebook, fine.
It starts with you, doesn't it? You can, once you understand yourself and how you function, you can probably make better choices or different choices. I love that. How do people find out more about that?
So that's on my website, thefemalemoneydoctor.com. And then literally, if you scroll down sort of partway through the page, you will see a section that says find out about your personality. But if you want the actual URL, it's thefemalemoneydoctor.com/SMA dash quiz.
Brilliant. What we'll do as well is I'm going to tag you wherever I've put this, and you can add it in the comments as well. I love that.
Perfect.
Thank you so much for your time, Nikki. It's been great to meet you and find out more about what you do. I'm always interested in meeting people who have one profession and then retrain or go in another direction later because something happens in life. Because I think that should be not the norm, but I think people shouldn't be afraid of that.
Yes, exactly.
Because we live with labels and we come from decades of people who do a job until they get a carriage clock. And that's pretty much all they get, if they get that. And I think it's absolutely honourable and admirable to reinvent yourself and do something that not only helps you but helps everyone else. So thank you for your time.
No, thank you for having me. Appreciate that.
And if anyone wants to know any more about either what I do or what Nikki does, then just pop us a question in the comments and we will see. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.